Hello, I am Angelus Demonus, and I am here to do a short video on the best way to farm Gelmorran Potsherds and Palace of the Dead, as well as a mention on what the ideal amount of sustaining potions you'll want to have to start a 1 to 200 solo run to get the Necromancer title. This question has been a very common inquiry from many new runners as of late, so I am here to clarify the information. I'll get straight to the point. The best way to farm Gelmorran Potsherds is to get to floor 101 plus, solo, and to try to check all the bronze chests you can find, because the drop rate is significantly higher starting at 101 plus. The ideal amount of sustaining potions to start a 1 to 200 Necromancer title attempt is between 400 to 500. Now let's go over some details. How to farm Gelmorran Potsherds for sustaining potions. On floor 50 and floor 100, you will get a guaranteed potsherd from killing the bosses. However, there is no reasonable way to grind these out in a practical manner. You can only start a Palace of the Dead file from either floor 1 or floor 51, so it's 50 floors just to get a single guaranteed potsherd. In Palace of the Dead, potsherds will come from bronze chests. However, the drop rate from bronze chests from floors 1 to 100 is very low, and it's not recommended to use those floors to farm your potsherds. I can tell you from experience that on average, I will get from 2 to 5 in the initial 100 floors of Palace of the Dead, which includes the 2 that I get from the floor 50 and the floor 100 boss. Once you get to floor 101 plus, however, the potsherd drop rate from bronze chests is significantly higher. It's not a perfect system, but more times than not on your solo attempts, you will go net positive on potsherds each time you start a new climb, assuming you enter at least floor 101 plus. The only part to worry about is doing the initial potsherd farm to get you started. You may have to do 2 to 3 climbs past 101 plus to start to have enough sustaining potions to get into the higher floors, such as 151 plus. On a recent run, I started with 12 potsherds at floor 1. I finished 100 with 14 potsherds, and ended 101 to 110 with 17 potsherds. That may not seem like a lot, but picking up 2 from 1 to 100, which is the 2 that you get guaranteed, and then the next 10 floors after that you pick up 3, in 10 floors. That's a significant difference. I've heard stories of runners picking upwards of 8 potsherds in 10 floors starting at 101 plus. In conclusion, your best bet to stockpile Gelmorran Potsherds for sustaining potions is to get into the higher floors starting at floor 101 plus and to go in solo. Something to note, if you go in with friends, even if it's a 2-person party, you are competing with the other person for potsherds coming from bronze chests. With 2 people, it's a 50% chance, with 4 people, it's a 25% chance, hence why it's ideal solo. It might seem like a lot of work to get into the farming phase, but it is what makes the most sense once you see it for yourself. What is a good starting amount of sustaining potions for a Necromancer title attempt? The recommended amount of sustaining potions is between 400 to 500. It's a solid average amount, which takes into account that if you need to replenish your sustaining potions on the much later floors, you will have enough room to do so, assuming you did not skip all the bronze chests climbing the floors. Depending on the job you use, you will likely use a total between 300 to 700, which also depends on how far you get, so on. Here is a quick example of the amount of sustaining potions I have used on previous runs on a variety of jobs. On recent Red Mage runs, I have used between 0 and 691 sustaining potions, getting either a clear or into 191 plus. Yes, I did say 0 because I have succeeded in clearing Red Mage using 0 sustaining potions. On one of my machinist clears, I had used a total of 643 sustaining potions. On my Gunbreaker clear, which can be evidence used towards the other 3 tanks, I had used a total of 412 sustaining potions. On my Monk clear, which can be evidence used towards the other 3 melee, I had used 763 sustaining potions. If you've watched me run attempts in Palace of the Dead, you'll notice that I always start with at least 900 plus. I can tell you from experience that starting with that amount, I have never had to worry about running out during my climb. I have a horrible habit of forgetting to replenish my sustaining potions mid-run, so starting with a huge amount takes away that concern, but it is your choice in how you want to do things. I hope this video will answer the questions of what the best way to farm Gelmorran Potsherds is, and how many should you start with for a solo attempt. If anything is confusing or not clear, please leave a comment below and I will clarify anything that I have said. Good luck on the climb.